Hi, this is Sadora. I'm here with my co-host Shiba.
And you're watching After Work with S&S.
So today we're talking about motherhood, how we balance it all with work, family, business, and everything in our lives. We're both mothers and we experience this on a daily basis. Now, how do you balance work and family and kids and business? Tell me a little bit about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how we balance all of it. I think that we're always trying to balance all of it, but we all experience the challenge of trying to do everything we can.
Right.
And when you have multiple hats that you wear in your life, it's tough, but you just have to keep driving yourself. I think the key is always trying to do the right things, at the right time, give yourself a chance to breathe and just, reduce stress and just keep going. But I don't think there's any one answer to it, right?
Right. Well, for me, I usually try to give myself some time so I have that time to think about how I can balance things. It's always important to have me time, right? But when you have 2-3 kids, it can be a little tough, right? But I always say find some time for yourself, even if you have to neglect a couple of things, you know what I mean? Find some time so you can center yourself, balance, and be able to give your kids, family, or whatever that time that they need,
Yeah. I mean, I think the pressure is always, what things do we drop to make things happen, right? That we get split because we can't drop our kids from a priority list, but in order to be all things that we can be for our children, which is different depending on who you're asking.
Right.
We feel like we have to abandon something else, and usually for most moms, at least for me, I've seen for my friends and people around me, we tend to drop the things that are more personal to us, like self-care, the things that we do for ourselves, before I had kids, I got my hair done a lot more. I got my nails done a lot more.
Right.
And now it's like, okay, do I go get my nails done or do I take my kids to the park?
See, I sometimes feel guilty about doing some personal stuff and feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing this for my kids, but that's what we need to stop. Stop feeling guilty for doing some things for yourself. Only when you take care of yourself, you can take care of your kids. You know what I mean? Balance it. It doesn't mean you have to be in their faces all the time. Give them enough time that they need. You're not neglecting them or anything, but
don't neglect yourself.
Right. Don't neglect. So balance.
So you're
that.
like an octopus woman with 8 hands, and
Listen,
you're perfectly in balance. I mean, that's the thing. We try to balance, but I think we're rarely in balance. I think the whole process, the day to day is the balance.
Right.
One day we're heavy on this, one day we're heavy on that, but you're never perfectly balanced. I just don't think that's real.
There's no such thing as perfectly balanced, but you have to set your mind to say, listen, I am going to do this today and kind of make that time for yourself. So you just have to, stay strong. But also, there's not a written manual or anything for a mother because you just freestyle it until you think it's right. You can't say, oh my God, my mom did it this way and let me do it this way because it's...
Well, we do. That's the problem.
Right,
we
well,
always have a
that.
scale, right? We always look at what we've seen as what motherhood is. So we get that from our moms. We get that from our sisters or friends who've been mothers before us.
But you never do it that way. You do it your way. You know what I mean? And when you do it your way, you just have to always think. I mean, I guess it comes from experience, you know what I mean? When your kids are at a young age, you're all about them, you know what I mean? But as they grow, you're
You're
okay.
all about them.
You're all about them too, but family support system is very important. You know what I mean? I'm always okay, I need some support system. My family, my sisters, they're always supporting me, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we're getting support right now. If it wasn't for my mom and the fact that I have a nanny, I wouldn't be able to do this show.
And that's where you take advantage to say, listen, let me do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, because to be able to be a businesswoman and a mother and a sister and a daughter. Like, you know what I mean? You have to be able to somewhat balance.
Absolutely. I mean, but okay, so we try to balance, and that's all fine. Not everybody's good at it, and I don't think anybody's perfectly in balance, but that's the whole aim. That's the goal. We try to balance it out. But whenever we're doing something that we feel determined to do, whether it's work related or even if it's spending time with our spouse or the relationship, our partners, whoever, or friends, when we do those things and we say, okay, I have to like give myself a little time and I have to do X, Y, and Z, we still feel guilty.
Yeah, that's just the mother in us.
Yeah, but so, but what? How is it that? I mean, yes, we feel the guilt. So many women can relate to it, but it's like you have to be able to manage that self-deprecating psychology that we do, where it's like, I'm not doing this, and oh my gosh, I would have spent X, Y, Z. I've heard, both you and I say these things sometimes. If we go somewhere intending something, but it doesn't work out, or we don't have such a great time or something. Oh, I wasted all this time. I could have been doing this with my kids. It's something that I've heard all of us say, and we feel bad about it. But why do we feel bad?
Because I think all mothers do feel bad, because you feel like you need to be there with your children all the time.
Yeah, but why? Why do we feel bad?
Because you're a mother, period. There's no answer to it. You know what I mean? You're a mother, so you feel like you need to be there with your children at all times. But that's impossible. That's why we need to be strong in the head to say, listen, I'm with my kids 5 hours, then I need some break to go do my thing. You know what I mean? Or whatever it may be. If you want to start a business, or if you want to go shopping or whatever, you just have to say, listen, stop feeling guilty about how much time you're spending and just go do it.
Well, how much time is appropriate?
So obviously there's no limit, right? But if you say, hey, on a weekend.
What do you mean there's no limit?
I mean, you can spend time with your kids all day. But if you structure yourself and give yourself some time to say, okay, today's the weekend, it's Saturday, I'm gonna go hang out with the kids until 5, 6, and then work on yourself. It could be, you're starting a business, you're an entrepreneur, you want to get yourself together. Give some time. So you spent all day with them. It's okay to say, hey, go do your thing and do your thing. That's the only way. If not, then kids will want to do stuff all day long and you cater to them.
Yeah, I think also the guilt is different when, for instance, when I'm going to my job, okay, or doing something that's, not personal time or fun time for me, especially hanging out with my friends, which like basically dropped in my priority list from top to the bottom once I became a mom, okay? Because I loved spending time with my friends. I was always trying to do things social and be out and about and do things, whatever, travel. I haven't taken a personal like girls trip unless it was related to a wedding or, I was a bridesmaid or something for myself since I've had kids. Period. So my oldest is 4.5, almost 5, the entire time, because I can't even imagine. I'm like, no, I'm not leaving my kids for some, joyride. I don't do that because, but when I'm at work and I'm, busting my,
you feel like
you're
what? Doing it for your kids.
So I don't have that guilt. Yeah. No, as long as they're, you feel a little bit, but not like that. I justify it. I'm like, I'm doing this for them. And if I have my mom at home, I'm like, but my mom is at home. Right. You know what I'm saying? But when you're doing things for, like, oh, I just, left work, I had a hard day, I just want to go, happy hour with some friends or whatever, and then I'm doing all the things I need for myself, but now it's 9 o'clock or it's reaching 10 o'clock and I go home and now my kids are asleep. I feel like a horrible piece of woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you do those things, but you find little ways to try to like balance, how you feel. But I don't think there's, we can't get rid of it.
Yeah, for that, I think when they're younger, it's a lot different than when they're older. My kids are 20, and younger, like my youngest is 16. So it's easier for me to say, because they're self-sufficient, it's easier for me to say, hey, I'm doing this, I'm starting a business, or, I'm hanging out, whatever it is, there's that balance. When they're younger, it's different because they're always in need of mommy, they want mommy there. So the guilt trip is a little different, but all moms.
It's more intense, I guess.
All moms.
But all moms have gone through that. So if your kids are 20 and older,
I still feel guilty. I'm FaceTiming them from work.
But that also means you went through your other guilt periods when they were younger.
Right. It does change.
So you're saying it gets better.
It gets a lot better. You know what I mean? I always say, do spend a lot of time with your kids because that's when you create value. You know, you ingrain that value in them. So when they get older, then you're a little more relaxed because you know you did that. You inserted that value. So it's a little less guilt because you can go ahead and create an empire for yourself, you know, and not feel guilty and get them involved as well. You know, you can spend time with them by getting them involved.
But here's something that I'll be honest about, right? So there'll be times, and yes, you know, I'm not, you know, I have, you know, the kids have a nanny since I go to work. They have somebody at home all the time. Right. If because of work, because of doesn't matter, something very important like my sister's wedding, I had to be somewhere, you know, in the evening or whatever, and I don't see them, or some extra thing and I haven't seen them much that day. Right. It doesn't matter what I was doing. If I hear things like, oh yeah, we got this XYZ for your son, like something that he needed, and somebody else, even if it's my, you know, their dad, my husband, I feel horrible that I wasn't even aware that this was needed and I wasn't there. Like it's a shit moment for me.
Right.
You know
because you're a mother, but that's where the support system comes. You have to believe this is my support system. I love it, and they're taking one thing off of your list. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. But as a mother, it just gets better. The guilty gets better because you know you're doing what you're supposed to do to support your family. You know what I mean? No matter what you're doing, but you still do need your me time. Yeah, and that guilt thing will just fade away eventually as they get older.
Well, I guess so. We'll see. I don't know if it's all the same, but you know, and then we're not easy on each other, right? You know, we judge each other as moms.
Because you're always comparing, right? You're always saying, oh my gosh, she's doing this better. Like, not intentionally, but you're like, oh my gosh, and you want to do that or whatever. But it's our thought, you know what I'm saying? Thinking that, okay, we may do this better, we should do this better, but I don't think it's malicious, you know, with moms.
Well, I don't know. I think sometimes it can be malicious. I think that, you know, women will berate each other, you know, or like, you know, see somebody that you know who has kids or something, and say, you know, she's a single mom and she brings her date or the guy she's dating around her kids. I've heard it, that person being criticized, like, oh my God, why would she do this in front of her kids? That's judgment.
Right, but you're not in that position. When you're in the position,
but why is the judgment there is my question. Why do people judge
because
women?
Moms think they're perfect. Every mom think they're perfect, so they judge the other mom, you know what I mean? But there's no one is perfect, especially moms.
The funny thing is, if moms think they're perfect, that's hilarious.
For your kids, no, for your kids, you think you're
moms
doing...
also question themselves.
Right.
They never think that they are perfect too. There is am I doing this right feeling.
They may be vocal about it, like maybe to their spouse or whatever, but you'll never go tell another mom that you're like, oh my gosh, she's doing this. Tell her like, okay, this is, you know.
No, I absolutely say to my friends or to like family, like, am I doing something wrong with this? Why doesn't my daughter like vegetables? Should I have fed her the green jar when she was a baby? Because I didn't like the look of it, so I just fed her carrots and
But
anything.
That's not negative though.
But the thing is, I do when I see other kids, you know, her age eating, you know, broccoli and peas and loving it, and then, you know, moms also do this. Oh yes, my son, you know, he loves cucumbers. That's how I raised him. It happens. And I'm like, well, my kids don't freaking care for cucumbers, actually. They like tomatoes, so bad mom. Guess my kids don't like green vegetables, and moms do that. That's what I'm talking about. Like, they will judge each other subliminally sometimes, or by, oh, look, this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? So, and moms do it all the time. Well, I like to just cook organic for my child, and, well, guess what? Sometimes I'm tired, and my kid gets McDonald's.
Exactly, and that's why you just stay positive about this whole thing and make it work for yourself. But if you dwell on it, or if you think about it, then you're gonna go into this headspace thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not doing the right thing. I'm not doing this for my kid. That person is doing the right thing for the. There's no such thing. You can't. You know what I mean? Just take that and, you know, as positive and make it work for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And moms also use excuses like, I have kids, so I can't do this and I can't do that. And those people are judged too. It's like, just because you're a mom doesn't mean you don't get your hair done. Like, we do that to each other.
Right. It's all about
we do it to ourselves,
right.
And that's the whole point. Like, we try to be perfect physically, work out, do this, be super friggin' career woman,
I feel like
do all the shopping the right way. I'm the great spouse. I do this, and my kids are perfectly, trimmed and proper and cut, and look at, everything looks perfect in your house.
Yeah, no.
We try. We try too much.
When my kids were younger, I felt like I needed to do extra. You know what I mean? I need to do this for my kids. They're not eating right or whatever. But as they get older, and it's different. You're more relaxed. You don't care about what other people think or what other people say, because you feel like you're doing the right thing. At least for me, right? Because I'm like, listen, this is what we're having for dinner, and that's what we're doing. I don't care what the other mom is doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's all about how you take it, or how you know what I mean? Manage your...
Yeah, and then new moms, for me, I'm relatively new at this. I mean, not too new, because I've 4 years or almost 5 years in the game, so I get it. But for my first couple of years, I was definitely second guessing a lot of things and wondering if this is right, and that's you have to, because you wonder. And then some people make it seem like it's effortless, right. and then some people make it look like they just can't stand a day, like they just look like they've just been run over by a truck every day. And I'm like, dang, and I've had those moments.
It's all in your head. Like,
no, you gotta drop something. That's the thing. We can strive to be all things, but when I'm an ace in my career, and everything is on track, and everything is properly like where it should be, and I'm on top of my game, that means I'm dressed right, I'm working out, I'm energized, and I'm doing all these things. My kids are good, I'm dropping them to school, picking them, everything is perfect. My laundry hasn't been done in 2 months.
Right, but
that's the price for all those things to be perfect. And I have to take care of my household stuff, and then something else is dropped. Now that report is for work is late, and I can't take that vacation or whatever.
How about a schedule? You know what I mean? Yeah. You schedule your laundry, so you don't feel like you've done everything, but you left something out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you schedule everything. Everything doesn't work properly just by a schedule.
That's exactly what.
I mean, you can do a little bit of everything.
Right. Of course. That's balance. If you do a little bit of everything and not neglect that big thing, then you're like, okay, you can drop the laundry for the weekend. You know what I mean? If you didn't get to do it like this weekend, you can do next weekend. You know what I mean?
It doesn't work out picture perfect like that all the time.
Never. So we met an amazing woman who's 27. She's a single mom. She has a 2-year-old, works and goes to school. I mean, she's very motivated about life. She's a go-getter. She's just not expecting a handout. She's working really hard to raise her son. Sheba interviewed her. Tell us a little bit about her before we roll to the video.
Yeah, I mean, she was an amazing young woman. We had plans of talking to so many people and getting all these moms to tell us, how they balance this and how they balance, trying to juggle everything the way we were just talking about. And then we met Chris, and she just blew our minds away, right? I mean, she just blew it away.
She's just so young and she's motivated.
Absolutely captivating. She's a makeup artist, freelancer. She works full time, like Sador was saying. She goes to school. She does all these incredible things to try to make all of these things happen and try to get her priorities checked. She's so open to learning more and pushing herself to do more. And she's amazing. And we wanted to highlight her story because we thought this is such a great motivation and inspirational story for anybody, and we're older than her.
And how we were talking about balancing and how she is a single mom. She had the answer how she makes it all happen with a 2-year-old. So we can't wait for you to see this interview. Let's roll it.
Hey guys, so we have Christina Michelle over here, and she's going to answer some questions for us. Hi, Chris.
Hey, how are you guys?
So thank you so much for taking the time to answer some questions for us. So about motherhood. We were talking to you about all the different things that we go through as moms, and the first question we have is, how do you handle the feelings of guilt that moms tend to feel when we're away from our kids, trying to get our jobs done, our careers on track, etc.? How do you deal with it?
What makes me someone taught me something is I take out designated time for him because I am so busy between like my freelance makeup artistry, my part-time job, school, and just me like having a life, a personal life. The little that I get, I designate time for him. So like maybe like a few days out the month, like just me and him. Like that's it. Like no date, no mom, no, just me and him, and just whatever, even if it's going to the playground, because it's hard to, especially when money isn't as long, and I'm a single mom, his dad's really not in the picture. So I designate little dates, like I take him to the museum or I take him to the pool. It's summertime, so it's free, maybe $5 at the most, but I make sure I designate time just for him and I, and for myself. So when I am with him, he gets me and only me, not me on my cell phone, not me checking emails, not me answering calls. No, he just gets me, and it's just for me and him, and that's it.
That's great. I mean, that's a great answer. I hear what you're saying. I do that a lot with my kids, isolate myself with them when I need that time. So I totally, relate to that. Another question we have is, moms and women in general, we tend to judge each other, rate each other from whatever scale that, we create for ourselves. And we're not so nice to each other at times. How do you feel about that? Have you experienced that? And, do you sometimes find yourself doing it too?
I experienced it a lot, especially working in the beauty industry, and in retail specifically. And then I used to work at a nightclub, so it was a lot of women. But and I've experienced it when I felt it, and I looked at, I looked at someone and I'm like, oh my gosh, she looks amazing. Like, how is she doing it with 3 kids and all this other stuff? Like, I didn't even put on lotion after I got out the shower earlier because I was trying to hurry up and get out the door. But when I look at them women and I feel that feeling about to erupt, I look and be like, wait, no, I want to be like her. Like, that's inspiring. Like, it's so many women out here that are doing everything, and people in general, not even just women, maybe like a full-time dad or like a student, like people I know, like his dad, he's not in his life, but he came from a story of he didn't have nothing, and he's in school for medical engineering. So it's like, you can do anything. And when you see people that's like doing so great and you ask yourself like, why can't I do that? You the only thing that's in your way. Like, you can do anything. You gotta want it. It's your want. That's it. And those people are inspiring. So I aspire to be like those people. If I feel like, oh, how did she do that? No, I'm gonna ask her, how did she do it? Like, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna think it. I'm gonna go ask her, how are you doing it? How did you do it? What do I need to do to get to where you at? Because that's my goal.
Oh my gosh, that's phenomenal. So, I mean, this kind of leads up to the next question. And I want you to tell us a little bit more about like what your regular days are like. How does it start? All the things that you have to juggle to make it all happen. Because the question we're asking is, how do you balance it all with your work and your life and being a mom and everything else?
How do I balance it all? To start, like how my day is, like say like today, I didn't have to be in here at Alta until 1. And that means I woke up at 8, so I make sure I'm out the house by 10 to get to his babysitter's house. I drop him off, drop my car off, get on the metro. I have to get a 10:40 bus that'll get me at the metro by 11:30. That'll get me to Pentagon City by 12:30, at least 30 minutes before my shift starts, to make sure I'm on time, because if I'm docked for being late too many times, I get terminated. But in the nutshell, waking up at 8, I went to sleep at 2, and I did my makeup in about, this time I did a stretch, and I'm really proud of myself. But you gotta stay ready, so you don't have to get ready. That's what I was looking at Sir John's vlog last night. He did with Desi Perkins, and that's one of the things that he's Beyonce's a celebrity makeup artist. So I was like, what do I need to do to get where he at? So he said, stay ready so you don't gotta get ready. So with that being said, like, I push myself, because I don't have to wear makeup every day, but they would like us to, in order to grow within the company and just to sell my brand and my services. So I said, all right, I got 20 minutes. I got to do something in 20 minutes. And normally it takes me at least about an hour and a half to do a full application of makeup, at least a full beat, that is. But so I did that. I got my son ready in 30 minutes. I grabbed a hot dog out the refrigerator so I could take lunch so I ain't got to spend no money. And I made it here on time. And then when I get off work, I have to get back on the metro. That's an hour ride, get on the bus, and then go get him, and then drive home. So even though I'll be leaving work at 7 o'clock, I probably won't be getting him until maybe like 9, 10 o'clock. I'll get home 10:30. He'll already be fed. Thank God I have my family with me. My aunt takes care of him. She babysits him, so he'll be fed. But there's no time for me and him. But what I do make time for, even if it's 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, it only takes 15 minutes to read him a story and put him in a bed. So I like make sure I do those things when I'm super busy, and that helps with the mom guilt, like it helps me feel like, okay, even though I gotta do all this stuff and I gotta make sure I study, I gotta make sure I get to work on time, I gotta make sure that I'm at work and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and all these other things are crossing my mind, but I make sure I take out that time for him. And even if it's 15 minutes out the day, like, he appreciates that, because he don't care about money. He don't care whether he's wearing a Gucci shirt or some Nikes. Like, he just want his mom.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
that's my priority.
That's amazing. I think you're such an inspiration, honestly. And I know, you're a young woman, you're a single mom, and everything that you've said so far and everything you were telling us earlier, it's just amazing. And I mean that. The one last question I have is, why do you think, and we do it all the time, why do you think we question ourselves? Like, we're always kind of, second guessing ourselves, or trying to make sure, am I doing this right? Am I feeding my kid right? Am I giving them the proper nutrition? Am I, all these kind of questions that we have for ourselves. And it sort of goes with why we judge other women. But why do you think we do that? And how can we stop?
I question myself because I want to be my best me absolutely possible. So that if that means pushing myself, if that means waking up 2 hours before I gotta get on the bus, I want to make sure I'm doing it. I'm being my best possible me. Like, and I'm the type of person, I want to push myself. I want you to tell me when I'm wrong. Tell me no, because I have to cross every T and dot every I, especially as a woman of color. Like, I have to make sure I'm this and that. So that's why I question myself, and I stop questioning myself by when I graduate, when I get my degree, because I'm in school right now for nursing, and that's when I know, like when I accomplish certain things. Even talking to you right now, like, I normally don't always do my makeup every day I come to work. Sometimes I'm slacking, sometimes I'm tired. I woke up with a headache this morning. Like, that's a prime example. I couldn't even sleep. Like, but it's like, stay ready so you don't gotta get ready. And I don't know, that's how I stop questioning myself.
That's really dope. I mean, you constantly challenge yourself. Yeah. And if people are, give you an opinion, you take it to heart. You try to improve yourself. Yeah. That's what you're saying. Yeah. That's really, really dope. Thank you so much. I mean, this means a lot to us. This is the real deal. This is like a real woman just doing whatever she can to be the best mom she can be. And I hope you all the success in the future. And, just before we totally wrap up, you said you're a mom, you're a student, you have a day job, and you freelance, right? And you have other ambitions and other responsibilities, like, regular stuff like paying rent and yourself, right? Yeah. So, I mean, applaud to you. Anything you want to say to the women out there who may be listening to this and need inspiration?
As a woman who came from a domestic violence situation, and that's my son's father, and any women, whether it's the smallest issue to the biggest, like, you can do anything you want to do. Don't ever let nobody tell you this or you that, so you can't do it. You can literally do anything you want to do. You make that decision. I set my limits, nobody else. So just do what you want to do. Be your best you and live your best life, because you responsible for you. You're responsible for your success, nobody else. So take that and go do something. Even if that means you got to tattoo your face to feel better about yourself. Do whatever you need to do to feel good about you. Confidence is so important in women in general. You need confidence like you need water. Like, and that's real. So love yourself. Like, who cares if you're 200 pounds or 20 pounds or I don't know, like you were sexually anything, who cares? Like, love yourself. Somebody loves you. And that's you. That's important. Like, that's what I like to do. That's why I got into this business. That's why I started doing makeup, because it makes me feel so good to give that back to women. After coming from a domestic violence situation, it was really bad, and a lot of it during my pregnancy, you know, like it tore me down and I lost my confidence for a little while. But to know that makeup gave me that back, and it's not because I felt ugly, it's because I didn't have confidence in myself. Like, makeup is to make us feel beautiful. It's to accentuate what we already have. We already got it. Don't ever let nobody tell you ain't got it. You got it. Trust me, more than anybody else. Nobody is you. That's your power. Just, you know, when you want to add a little glitz and glam to it, you know, for shits and giggles, you have fun. And it's about you. It's your world. It's your show. This your show. How we gonna do this?
Thank you so much. You heard it right here. I'm just wowed.
So there's no perfect way of parenting. It's all an experience. So do everything with love, and try to balance as much as you can. I'm definitely encouraged and motivated by Christina's story. I'm always trying to do better, trying to teach my kids better, and, you know, go moms.
So no one's a perfect mom, and we're not going to be perfect women, and we're not going to be perfect business women, and we're not going to be perfect spouses or anything, but it's okay to try. And that's what I learned from Chris. Even though she's young and everything, she has it right. She has her mind right. She's being positive. She's trying to do all of those things and not taking for granted what people have advised or what people may think. And she's set her limits really high. And as women that do that, we shouldn't, you know, self-deprecate. We shouldn't put ourselves down, feel guilty. We should try to do it all. We should try to, you know, be the best people we can be, the best moms we could be. And it's okay not to be perfect all the time. That's the takeaway for me. And I'm just really glad that, you know, we got to talk this through and, you know, and give a highlight to someone so deserving and so inspiring.
Exactly.
So
that's our show for today
thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time
on After Work.